how did this inspection go?
Charles, Mayor Francis Zamora is pleased that the establishments here at the Greenhouse Shopping Center are complying with the government's health protocols. He adds that businessmen are proving that we can strike a balance between jump-starting the economy and protecting citizens from the coronavirus. Only 4 out of 21 entrances in V-Mall, Changi, and Shopsville are open to regulate the number of shoppers going in. Only 3,000 customers are let in at a time. The entrances have metal detectors with built-in sensors or thermal scanners and counters. There are also signs showing the number of customers allowed inside a particular store. Safety officers are deployed to ensure that stores do not go over the allowed capacity and that shoppers are observing physical distancing. Changi's are covered with plastic. There's alcohol at each stall. There are trays where customers will drop their payments. Vendors have their face masks and shields on. Their health and travel pass and certificate of compliance are displayed. Stalls are now clustered into 4, with frontages facing away from each other. James Candelaria, head of trade affairs and exhibits of the Green Hills Malls, says only 56% of the Changi's have opened. That's 765 stalls out of 1,300. Mayor Zamora, meanwhile, assures the public that stores are being disinfected regularly.
We would like to ensure you that we have done everything that we can to really assure your safety. And at the same time, we took certain steps to provide at least a valued service to you guys. And at the same time, then we all provided yung sanitation and safety protocols that we've been doing to this mall.
Kaya sa araw na ito, ipinakita natin yung mga patakaran nila, pinakita natin ang new normal sa kanilang mall, para naman pag makita ng publiko, magkakaroon silang kumpiyansa na dumalaw dito muli sa San Juan, lalong-lalo na dito sa Green Hills.
Charles, malls here at the Greenhouse Shopping Center are now averaging just 1,200 customers a day. That's a drastic drop from the previous 55,000 to 70,000 customers a day before the pandemic. Charles?
Thank you, Lino Lavario, reporting live from San Juan City. The Trade Department tells online sellers PM is not the key. The agency warns them that failure to publish the price of goods is illegal. Shaila Francisco tells us more.
After 2 days, ang bait ba after 2 days?
Laura now doubts online sellers who are asking customers to message them for prices of goods. During the start of the ECQ, she tried to buy face masks online and dealt with a seller through private messages, only to be scammed days later. The seller deactivated her account. Later on, the same seller sold the same products online again, but she discovered from a relative that the prices have jumped by 500 pesos.
Nakakainis talaga kasi una sa lahat, sobrang time-consuming for the both parties siya. Kaysa malaman mo na agad yung presyo, mapapa-PM ka pa at saka matatagalan pa yung mauunsumi pa yung bili mo. Ibibigay pa sa'yo through message lahat ng information na kailangan mo. Paano kung talagang kailangan mo na and nagmamadali ka, tas hindi ka pa sure kung totoo tong seller na to.
Online shopping became a hit during the start of the ECQ, with sellers resorting to digital marketplaces to increase sales. But customers complain that instead of posting prices, they are often greeted with phrases like PM is the key or PM for price, worse, PM sent. Well, the Trade Department says PM is not the key. It's illegal and could be considered profiteering. The agency urges consumers to report these practices to the agency.
Kailangan pag in-advertise nila yung produkto, nakapost rin yung presyo. It's a violation of the Price Act kung walang price tag. Price Act does not distinguish between online and physical selling.
The DTI is now working on building a registry for online sellers. The DTI also reminds sellers that products being sold online are still covered by the suggested retail price or SRPs. Currently, the SRPs remain unchanged since last year and may be updated by end June or July.
Tinitingnan na natin kung paano tayo makakapag-adjust considering yung pagbaba ng fuel noon, kaya lang at the same time, kailangan i-consider din yung pagtaas naman ng logistics costs.
Meanwhile, delivery and supply of goods are stabilizing in markets, with some stocks good for up to 3 months. Supermarket owners also observed that panic buying has died down.
Ngayong nag-open up na, medyo hindi pa normal, pero nadagdagan ng supply, nadagdagan ng deliveries, no? Prices have, relatively stayed stable. Medyo kampante ang tao, hindi na nag-panic buy.
With this, the DTI is looking to lift the limit on the purchase of some goods. It capped the number of some essential items shoppers can buy back in March to discourage hoarding and regulate supply. This is a welcome development for Nelson, who has to go to the grocery 4 times a week to replenish stocks in his sari-sari store.
Actually, mahirap siya, kaya nga umitim na po ako. Pero kailangan din talaga na makabili kami para sa yung bumibili din sa amin. Kahit kukunti ang kikitain, nakakatulong din. Sa pabalik-balik namin, baka mamaya makaano pa kami o makahawa kami o mawaan kami ng may COVID. Yun ang sa amin So talagang makakatulong ng malaki.
Manufacturers and supermarket owners also said this will help them recover losses during the ECQ. This may also help to normalize supply and demand in supermarkets. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
Transportation Department and the LTFRB have given the thumbs up to the fresh, futuristic look of the newly transformed DLTB buses. Acrylic fiberglass enclosures were installed to isolate the driver and each passenger. But before getting on the bus, passengers have to step on a sanitation mat, have their temperatures checked, and spray alcohol onto their hands. Once inside, they fill out a manifesto for contact tracing purposes should this become necessary. Air filters have also been installed to make sure that passengers breathe clean air while traveling. Despite all these upgrades, bus fares remain the same. But if you want to pay, don't go looking for Kuya Conductor because tickets are out and cashless beep cards are in.
Yung konduktor, yasay na lang namin sa mga nagdi-disinfect ng buses. Para pagtakbo niya uli, bus talagang ubod ng linis, wala sa bakterya, wala sa virus. Hindi naman negosyo o pera-pere. Ang importante rito, yung buhay ng pasahero. Dapat talaga yung bus natin na tinatawag naming new normal, talagang COVID-free siya.
And State U, the University of the Philippines, shoots up the list in the latest Times Higher Education Asia University rankings. UP climbed 30 points from 95th in 2019 to 65th in 2020, while De La Salle University slid down to the 301 to 350 bracket from the 251 to 300 bracket in 2019. The two universities are the only higher education institutions from the Philippines that were included in the list. Two Chinese universities are Asia's best, with Tsinghua University topping the list and Peking University climbing 3 places to rank second. The Asia University Rankings bases its scores on various performance indicators, which include teaching research, citations, international outlook, and industry income. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Stay with us here on One News. Good afternoon, I'm Charles Lejano. You're still watching One News Now. Coronavirus infections in the Philippines breached the 20,000 mark on Thursday. The health department tallied more than 600 new cases this afternoon, and half of those are fresh cases while the other half were reported late. 10 more people lost the battle to COVID-19 overnight, and the national death toll is now inching closer to 1,000. At least 90 patients recovered from the disease over the past 24 hours, and so far, more than 4,000 people have gotten better from the SARS-like disease. The health department says it's now processing the release of compensation for the country's 32 health workers who died due to COVID-19. To give us the latest update about this, we have Greg Gregorio. He's reporting live from Quezon City. Greg, the DOH, DOLE, and DBM have signed this joint administrative order to provide said compensation. What's the next step here?
Hello, sorry. Thank you.
Right, Greg, could you hear us? Could you tell us more about this joint administrative order that's already been approved?
Yes, Charles, under the Republic Act 1469, or commonly known as the Binding to Arizona Act.
All right, we'll try to circle back to Greg in a bit. Over now to Russia, where residents from various villages are cut off from food shops after the government shut down major transport links. So, a group of volunteers from the Youngsters for All Russia People's Front took it upon themselves to deliver essential goods to these secluded communities. Residents only need to call a hotline to place their order, and the organization then assigns members who will actually buy the items and deliver these to the secluded communities. The small village of Nikitino is home to around 500 people. There are no grocery stores, and residents travel about 50 kilometers to the city of Omsk to buy essential goods. But after public transportation was suspended, around 17 families are relying on outsiders to deliver basic goods. And now we're going to try to circle back to Mr. Greg Gregorio, who will tell us about the processing of compensation for the fallen health workers who have died due to COVID-19. Greg, could you tell us about this joint administrative order that's been approved? What's the next step here before our people actually receive the money?
Yes, Charles, under the Republic Act number 11469, or commonly known as the Binding to Arizona Act, those health workers or the family members of those health care workers who died because of COVID-19 are entitled to receive 1 million peso death benefit, while those who suffered severe cases are entitled to receive 100,000 pesos benefit. According to DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, they are already able to contact the family members of those 32 fallen healthcare workers in our fight against COVID-19. They are in talks actually regarding to the submission of necessary documents for them to claim the benefit. Well, there's no specific statement whether or not they will be able to meet the deadline given by the President. According to Vergere, they can release these benefits as soon as necessary documents are filed. Charles?
All right, Greg, thanks for that. A representative from the Drug Price Advisory Council discussed EO 104 as well, which sets price caps on selected medicine. Could you break down for us some of the salient points of this EO?
Yes, Attorney Patricia Blardoni, a member of the Drug Price Advisory Council, who explained that this Executive Order number 104, which was signed by President Duterte back in February, is already in full enforcement since June 2, meaning prices of more than 100 drugs or formulations are now reduced to as much as 50%. There were considerations in choosing this drug, such as if it is for the diseases that belongs to the leading causes of mortality or morbidity in the country. If the price in the Philippines of this certain drug has a great difference from other countries, and if a certain drug has a limited competition, and if there is a high price market while it is given or one of the most prescribed. Attorney Patricia Blandoni highlighted that even with this price reduction, the price adjustment for senior citizens and persons with disabilities must still be honored. Charles?
All right, let's just get this straight. Where do we report certain drugstores that sell meds at prices above this maximum retail price set by the FDA? And what's the penalty that they will face?
Yes, Charles, if there is a violation that is seen or observed by a customer or consumer, they can report it to the Department of Health, the FDA, or even with the regional drug price monitoring officers in the regional DOH Center for Health Department. But they are reminded that they should not forget to take a photo or what could serve as a proof of transaction of their receipt. This could serve as evidence against these individuals or manufacturers or pharmacies who are violating this law or provision by the government. And as to the penalties under the EO 104, it is provided that penalties should be dealt in accordance to the Cheaper Medicines Act. And according to this, after due notice and hearing, the Secretary of Health could impose administrative fines against any person, manufacturer, reseller, or retailer. And the penalty could reach from 50,000 pesos to 5 million pesos. Charles?
All right, thanks for that, Greg. That was Greg Gregorio reporting live from Quezon City. It's time again to take a look at the global situation of the COVID-19 pandemic. Via this interactive map from Johns Hopkins University in the States, we have the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases around the world reaching 6.5 million. As you can see here, we have 6,524,369, with more than 1.8 million of these coming from the global hotspot, the United States, where mass demonstrations are still taking place following the death of George Floyd at the hands of the police. New reports are saying that Floyd's autopsy actually showed that he had COVID-19. But the pathologist said that this did not lead to his death. Brazil still has the second highest number of COVID-19 cases globally at around 580,000. That's 584,016 for Brazil. This is followed by Russia at 440,538, the United Kingdom with over 280,000, Spain with over 240,000, Italy with over 233,000, and India with nearly 218,000 COVID-19 cases. Talking about the global death toll now nearing 387,000 at 386,209. The U.S. still tops this list with 107,000 fatalities. And in a recent study published by the New England Journal, the malaria drug that U.S. President Donald Trump had been recommending as a means of preventing COVID-19 does not actually protect people from the virus. The U.S.'s death toll is followed by that of the U.K. with almost 40,000 deaths. Italy, meanwhile, has 33,600 deaths, Brazil with 32,500, France with 29,000, and Spain with over 27,000 deaths. For more updates, be sure to follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.